Hello and welcome to another episode of 25 with Tech 25. I'm Tim Higgins, Secretary.
I'm Andrew Benton, Data and Systems Specialist. Hello.
I'm Chris Fano, Director of Technology. We welcome you in for another great episode. Tim, why don't you tell them what we have on tap for today?
Well, thank you. Yeah, we decided, since we're in the season, though the weather outside doesn't quite reflect it, we are in that holiday season where life is kind of hectic and crazy, and we're running around doing all sorts of things. And here at Tech 25, we like to stay organized. We like to stay, in full communication with one another. And I know you guys probably do with the buildings, but even beyond that, a lot of this technology that we use here at school, we can also use in our everyday lives. And the holidays is sort of definitely one of those times where that happens. So we wanted just to share a couple things, for your holiday wish list, maybe some apps and things that we'll be talking about. But otherwise, just some different tricks, tips, and strategies to staying organized, to stay in communication with all sorts of people. So.
And the weather outside is not frightful, but you know what is delightful? People's emails and their tweets. So if you have any things that you have questions about or things that you want to share with the group, make sure to tweet. You can tweet at AHSD25Tech, or you can email us at any time at tech25@sc25.org, and we'll be able to get back to you, or you can start another conversation about things that help you stay organized and manage this wonderful but yes hectic time.
Absolutely. I think actually to start us off, it's going to be Mr. Fano here with how to manage the madness.
No, there is, and there's a lot of madness, but you know what? There's one tool that I think can help you and me and other people in your family not only stay organized for the holidays, but stay organized throughout the course of the year. So we're going to jump over right now to a program called Evernote. You may have heard of it in different training sessions we've had, but I really want to show you very briefly some ways that it connects directly to the holidays and things that you may be doing on a regular basis, both during this time of the year for your job or for other aspects of your life. So we're going to start here, and I'm just going to jump over to this look right here. So Evernote, in its most basic form, is an organized set of notes in notebooks. And what really is the power of this is how you can collect all the different pieces of information that you have to deal with, whether it's for one project or over various projects that you need to deal with. So staying with the theme for today, I'm just going to talk about it in the context of the holidays. So we're going to start with just some of the very basics. I'm not going to go through all of the features because you can certainly do that on your own. But what I want you to know is to get this program, it's free to start off with, and they do have a premium account that has some additional features to it. But the free version does a lot for you. It's accessible on your computer, on a tablet, and on your mobile device. And it syncs between all of those devices as well, so that you do have the ability to look at things on the go, be able to work with your phone when you're out in stores or you're out about, but it also then has a full feature capability on your computer. This right here is the computer view. That's what we're going to look at today. And as I mentioned, this is really geared around collecting all kinds of notes. And we're going to walk through a couple of those and then organize them into notebooks. So the first thing that everybody has to do during the holiday time is they have a to-do list. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new notebook just for our to-do list. So if I go up to File and I go to New Notebook, you can see there are two quick options here. One of them is a local notebook that just saves on my computer. But I'm going to do a synchronized notebook so it goes to all my devices. And I'm going to call this To-Do List. So once I've created this notebook called To-Do Lists, I can then start creating all different kinds of notes in here for things that I need to do. So right now I'm just going to, again, in this to-do list, okay, we're going to create a new note. And I could just have, for example, a shopping list. And then what happens is for each one of these notes, you're going to see that you have a bar here. And you have a lot of different editing tools. But it does give you this either bullet list, number list, or in this case what we're going to use, which is the actual to-do list, so you can have a checkbox. So maybe for my dinner shopping list, I need to get some ham, some turkey, bread, And you can see quickly it creates a nice little shopping list that you will, again, it will sync with your phone, sync with your tablet. You can have it on the go. And when you simply complete an item, you just check it off, and you know you have one less thing to do during this time. You can create another note that isn't necessarily for dinner, but it may be items for decorating. And again, you can now start to see as you populate these different notes that you will have a collection of them within each notebook themselves. So again, those are just a very basic way. It serves as a to-do, but Evernote is much more powerful than just having to-do lists. So one thing that a lot of people like to do is they like to collect different recipes, but they have them all over the place or they're in emails. An easy way to be able to collect things that you want to have in groups is using Evernote in the notebook section. So we're going to jump over here to Safari. And so I did a little bit of searching, and one of my favorite things to eat around this time with football and the holidays are buffalo wings. So here's an example of just a recipe that I found online. And again, instead of copying and pasting it or writing it down, when I'm in this web page, what I can do is, in this case, I'm just going to control-click anywhere on the page. When I control-click on the page, like we talked about last week, you get a little drop-down menu here. And on the bottom now, once I've installed Evernote and its web clipper, you can see I have 3 new options down here. I can save the full page to Evernote. I can save a screenshot of this, or I can actually save a bookmark. So for this example, I'm just going to save a screenshot to Evernote. And now when I jump over, we're just going to do a quick sync. Eventually, that note will come over. And so it's the way to be able to take things right off of the web and then organize them. So I'm hoping that's going to come over in just a moment. If not, we're going to show you a different way to do it in just a minute. One more. Let's see if we can do this full page. Okay, and so you can see that there are a couple different options that you have that you can get used to as you're going along. And there we go. It's in there twice. I just needed to be a little bit more patient. But now you can see here I have the nice recipe all done. And because I've already created a recipe notebook, I can simply drag that note right into recipes. And now I would have this along with all the other ones I want to keep that are quickly accessible and also searchable if you save it as a website. So that's one easy way to do it, a shift click within any web page. You can save the screenshot over or save the web page over. So I want to show you another way that this gets integrated in with your web experience. So let's say you're out and you are you're doing some shopping online, you're looking for some ideas, and you have something that you're interested in, but that you want to come back and be able to look at it at a different time, or you're comparing prices, or you're just doing some searching around a certain item. So in this case, what we want to do is, let's say we were out here at Amazon, we're shopping for a picture for somebody, or for a camera for somebody, and you want this idea to be able to get over to Evernote in a quick way. Well, Amazon specifically has a direct link in with Evernote, as do some other programs. When you install this little plugin called a web clipper, when I click on that, it will ask me and say, okay, what do you want to save this as? As an article, as an Amazon actual page, a full page of bookmarks, some of the ideas that we saw before. And then where do you want to place it? So I do have a notebook called Gift Ideas, and I'm going to save it as an Amazon link and click Save. And again, it will sync that, share it to my Evernote notebook. And again, in a moment, it will come across Here we go. And now you can see I have all the information from that Amazon page right there with the images and descriptions, all of the details that are available. I did not have to copy and paste and try to deal with formatting. And it even gives me a link right back to where I was. I can also always go in and I can change the title to make it something that's more easy for me to understand and to find and search later. So again, you can do that from any web page. You can save it as a bookmark, a web clipping, or in this case that Amazon does. It also then shows you a direct link and it formats it for you correctly. All right, the last thing I want to show or talk about is about receipts or travel plans, things that you might get in as PDFs. So one thing that we get a lot of is we get these PDFs or JPEGs for receipts or for airline travel plans. They're saved all over your desktop. And so, for example, here's a receipt that we have from Sunshine POS. And I want to keep track of those. I want to be able to manage my receipts over time. So I can simply drag anything from my desktop, whether it's a JPEG or if this was a PDF or if it was even a Word document. And I can just drag it straight into notes, one of my notebooks. Okay, if I want to lay it into my notebook here, I can be able to do that, and it will transfer it right over into that area so that I can collect all of my receipts, my travel plans, and everything else right within one of my notebooks. So those are a couple different ways that you can use Evernote, whether it's to-do lists, whether it's web clippings, whether it's dragging pictures in, or PDFs that you can use and organize them into notebooks to look across your classroom, to look across your communications with parents, or even use it to organize your home life. I encourage you to explore it. There's a lot more that it can do, but we're going to talk about some other ways that you can stay organized and manage this holiday time, moving outside this world of Evernote. So Tim's going to take it from here and talk a little bit about how we can use some of these tools to stay connected with those people who we want to talk to during this time.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, everybody. Give me 1 second here. We're going to see if I can get this mirrored. Hopefully. No? Yes? Maybe? Yep, there it is. How's it going? So, as Chris said, part of the important thing about this time is communicating with loved ones who, may not be close by. And this is an example, I guess, of something that works in both capacities. So at work, we have 9 buildings across our district and don't have the opportunity to be able to be in the physical space with people all the time. And same thing at home. Family members across the country, studying abroad, things like that. And we have this great technology that lets us talk to them, see them at these particular times of the year. So a couple of options that I want to talk about are going to be one that we're actually already used to. As you may know, and you may not, there's actually a Google Hangouts app. There's actually an app for most all of the different Google applications that we use here in the district. But Hangouts is the one we're going to talk about right now in terms of communicating. So I've signed into my Hangouts account here. And speaking of talking to family members across the district, I have, Mary Higgins here, my mom who works over at Greenbrier. And so on the left-hand side, we have all of our Hangouts like we would see inside of Gmail. And on the right-hand side is the conversation that can very well show up. And so we can search for anybody that we'd like. And so if you already have the contact saved, if it's somebody that you sent emails to and things like that, they will pull up here, and you can select anybody. And so I selected Chris Fano, and then it gives you a couple of options of how we want to communicate with that particular person. And so if I can do a Hangout message, which would be as I sort of just showed you on the right-hand side. You get a sort of a texting format, the back and forth, but you can also do voice calls or video calls. It'll ask for permission to use your cameras and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and dial Chris. We see up at the top it says calling Chris or whoever we are calling to. And it'll ring on the other side, very similar to any other type of call. And that person has the ability to answer or deny. any kind of, hopefully they'll answer. If it's a family member, who knows? But you'll be able to see them, talk to them, see their face, as well as communicate that way. So as we connect, here's Mr. Fano walking down the hallway since his little segment is over, and then your picture shows up in the lower right-hand corner. Thank you, Chris. And so that's Google Hangouts, a great app for your mobile devices. I actually kind of almost like the way it works on mobile devices a little bit better than it even does on the computer, which is nice. And of course, now not everybody in the world has Gmail as one of their email addresses or their accounts. So for any family members who maybe, they're really stuck on their SBC global email address and they're not going to budge from it, there is also a service you, I'm sure, have heard of at this point in time. It's called Skype, a free application, a free service for the basic use of it. And you can sign up for an account, and the same sort of a thing happens there. And so sign in with your username and your password. Hopefully that'll sign in for me, but maybe not. But Skype, it's really just a nice alternative to the sort of Google-centric world that we live in. And so very similar type setup. Same thing, it'll ask for the microphone and the camera permission. And then you have sort of a section of contacts. You can add somebody new with a little blue guy in the upper section there. And type in their username or email address, it'll ask, and then it'll send them sort of a contact request, similar to Facebook, things like that, so people get the permission to, or the ability to sort of weed out people that they may not want on there. And so same exact idea. You select your person, and then in the upper right-hand corner, you can either do a voice call, which is the phone, or you can do a video call, which is the camera, and it'll do the same thing. Very much the same setup. But again, Skype, a nice option for people who might not have a Gmail address or Gmail, since you guys already have the account. And we've definitely, I guess, pushed having the personal account with Gmail just because it does so many things for you. They are some solid options. So here we have Chris showing up here again to talk to us, still walking down the hall, still walking. Cool. Thank you very much for calling in, Chris, or letting us call you. Cool. So just two kind of quick ways of staying connected with your family, your friends, your loved ones who may be elsewhere in the world. And so, yeah, that's about it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Andrew Ben.
Hello. So there are just picture even just our episodes where we have been talking about so many different applications and talking about so many different websites. Can you even picture a website that is sign up kind of a service that doesn't ask you to create an account, or you already have the account, so it's asking you to sign in? One thing that you may or may not know is that there are apps out there that actually can store all of your passwords. Some of this is going to sound scary to some, but I'm going to tell you the whole thing and then tell you that you really shouldn't be worried about it. So what I've done, and I'll show you this if I have time, in terms of going to the App Store. You have an App Store right over here. Everybody's so used to going to the App Store for their iPhones or going to the Google Play Store for their Android. Your computer is the same way. So you can go out to the App Store and you can hop on and you can see multiple different apps. You put up a subject up here. In my case, I'm going to say password. Just use the word password, and then a bunch of apps are going to come up. Some are free, some are not. If it says get, then they're free. So again, this is in the Mac world. So I downloaded one of these. It's not right here on the screen, but I downloaded this application called Locket. It's free. And so it's a very simple app. It just opens up, and what it does is it allows for you to, this is all fake, of course, that allows you to include, if you see right here, we're talking about some of the district systems that we have. So whether it be Skyward or whether it be your Edline, that nobody ever knows how to get into that staff protected area because that password and username is different. I did one for Dreamweaver. I did just, this isn't complete, but you can end up with just, you know, hundreds of, you don't realize how many passwords you have till you get one of these pieces of software. What this software does is it has one password to log into it. Once you use that single password to log into it, all your passwords are going to be lined up down here. They try to give you a little help. They try to say, hey, listen, do you want to add a Visa? Sure, great, here you go. I created this category by just saying plus in this category area. And so everybody here in the office uses this. You would think that you'd be afraid to be using your, I mean, think about other places: Ticketmaster, Target, Amazon, Best Buy, your insurance cards, your credit cards, license plate numbers. Here's just a visual of I thought it was gonna show me all the categories. So these ideas, oh, they're over here on the left too. So it really is so very helpful. Some of them can get pretty advanced where you hit a couple keystrokes, and just by being on this particular link, you hit a couple keystrokes and it will actually log you into that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying, here's your username, here's your password. Go ahead and use it. So that is just going to the App Store, finding a password app that's free. Just try it out for a while. The one major point that I want to make here before I leave you is that Chris was talking about Evernote. At one point we were talking about Google Drive. Tim was talking about Gmail, Twitter. Please remember that all of these apps that you're downloading to your machine are more than likely going to have an app for your phone as well. So over this holiday break, you might be without your district machine for a little while, but please know that if it comes to Gmail, if it comes to Drive, if it comes to everything I'm mentioning, Evernote, Dropbox, just like you are going to go to the App Store for your Mac, you're going to go to the App Store for your phone as well, and you will notice syncing happening. You will have in your hand just what you have on your machine. Sometimes working with an iPhone, people don't like it as much, a little more difficult with the keyboard and such. So do all your work on the, setting up these passwords for all of these hundreds of sites and services and systems, and work on the desktop because it's a little easier. Then when you go to grab your phone, all the data is in there. There's one more, keeping in communication with family and friends and those that you're following on Twitter. I just wanted to show, it's kind of a shifting gears here a little bit to another app I got same from the App Store, and it's called TweetDeck. This looks it's over the top, doesn't it? Looks pretty heavy, but you can have as many or as little of these columns as you want. I just wanted to quickly show that you can keep up with your own typical, let me see, do we have old Twitter on? No. So sometimes a Twitter app may just have just one little feed, where in this one you can actually watch some of the notifications, some of the people that are liking tweets that are coming out of your account. There is, you can do multiple accounts up here, so you can kind of follow your whole Twitter life without having to scroll and scroll and scroll and have to hit menu items on the bottom or left or whatever. It all just kind of, these are all feeding themselves. I just wanted to show that quick. So when you're sitting on the couch after your holiday meals and you want to catch back up with the world, TweetDeck is a really nice app. Another thing, just in terms of shopping, back to that is you may know, and I don't have any examples right here, but you know the trick. You just go to the App Store. What I'm going to get at is UPC readers. This is more for, when you're home. When you're in the, you're just at a store. You just use one of these apps, and you scan of the UPC of the product. That, like Chris was showing you this Xbox thing, and he saw $3.99. So what it will do, a lot of these sites will jump out to all of the online sites and big box stores, and it'll find you the best price that it can find. So you can say, listen, this is great. I'm standing in this store, and I love this product, and I know I want to buy it. I'm going to use this UPC reader that actually jumps out to the rest of the online e-commerce world and finds the product for cheaper, or maybe with more functionality, whatever that might be. So anyway, that's really it for me. Just really remember that piece, that your computer and your phone or iPad or whatever it might be, your devices can be in sync. And I think that's it.
That's for all of us. So
we have one more before the.
Yeah, so we'll have one more episode next Wednesday, and then it's winter break. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for being here. Hope that your prep for the holidays goes smoothly, and yeah, we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.